Okay, three, two, and one. Hi, welcome back, and we are back with our third speaker. I'm super excited this time because we have someone who is super special, and a lot of you may know him, a lot of you may not know him, and that's why we have him here, right? So we have Robin Singh with us. Singh is a very inspiring person. He is a founder of People Farm presently, and he started his career way back in 1998 as a hacker, and went on to setting up a company called Eat Junkie in 2013. Had a very successful career in the digital arena, and in fact when he was 23 years old he moved to US, and after a very successful career he decided to exit from that company. And believe me, he came back to India, and the reason for him to come back to India was to find the purpose of his life. So, Robin, tell us, it's a very unique story because not many successful people really leave things and come back home just to find the purpose of your life. So, can you tell us a little bit about your story and what really brought you back to our country?
Sure, yeah. So it was more selfish than that. I mean, I had a very simple goal. I wanted to be financially independent. So there were some creature comforts that I was used to, and I wanted to have those without having to work for them every day. So once I got to that point, I was around like it was late. It was late 2010, so I was 30, almost 31, and I got there and I had a very comfortable life, but it was very empty. So I had everything that I wanted, but I still wasn't happy. So that's what put me on a different quest. That yeah, okay, if I've ticked all the check boxes, whatever my dad told me, yeah, aapko ye karna hai, you have to do, get a house, get married, do this, do that, earn money. I did all of that. I'm not happy. So that's when I started just writing my thoughts down, reading things, and so it was more of a pursuit of happiness that brought me back to India, and eventually that got me onto the path of pursuit of meaning. So that's how it happened.
Amazing. So, if I have to say, you had it all when you were in US. You had a career, you had a great life, you had a great house, great lifestyle. So, is happiness all about getting things, or is there something more to it?
I think see, you need a baseline for happiness. I mean, if you are broke, it's very hard to be happy if you're always fighting for survival. But after you've met your needs, then because we don't know any other template, what happens is we just try to satiate these desires, and that's how we kind of mistake pleasure for happiness. And then what happens is we have to constantly up our game, because let's say I buy a BMW, I'm going to be happy for a bit. I bought a new car, I'm going to tell my friends about it to
Yeah.
Facebook, hey, I got this, my BMW. But then I will adapt to that. My brain would adapt to it, and after a few months, I need a bigger kick. Now I can't buy a Maruti 800 to be happy. I would need like a Tesla. So that seemed like, well, this is the game you're bound to lose at some point or the other. So there's no point. Plus, it gives you just pleasure, not really happiness. And also the big thing was, this was like, we are not in a vacuum. All of this first creating a desire, because you go to a mall and that triggers your fantasies. You don't need anything, you go there so you can see what's new. So you create this desire and you fulfill this desire, but all of this is not happening in a vacuum. You are paying for it in terms of money, but then there are natural resources, there are people, there are animals suffering for any consumption. So that's why I don't think that pleasure is the route to happiness. I found my answer in service.
Okay. Guys, whosoever finds pleasure in material, please put yes in the chat. And who agree with Robin, put a no yes in the chat. And basically, who don't agree with Robin, put a no in the chat. And Robin,
Oh man, it is mad.
tell us, it's very interesting that you had a journey from being a hacker to being an animal healer. How did that come into picture?
So I was I was crafty when I was a kid. I still am. I keep it under wraps. So anyway, so what I was doing was, when I was 17, so the music piracy industry was on the rise.
Yeah.
People were making these mix CDs, so they would like it. It was all illegal. I wasn't doing that. So what I was doing was, I was getting the CDs that got burnt, but not properly. So they were waste CDs. So what I did was, I would get online, I would download software demos, and I would go to the call or go to my college and sell CDs there. So that's why I constantly needed internet access. Plus, I liked reading, and internet accounts were not very easily accessible at that point. So that's when I got into hacking to steal internet accounts. So it was a bit of hacking, bit of social engineering. Uh, but then I hacked this guy, Chetan, in Delhi, and
Hmm.
he figured it out. He got like I got kind of caught, and he was like, "Hey man, let's meet up. We can do something interesting together." So we met up. He told me, how I can use my skills for doing something better than the stealing internet accounts. So that's how I got into web programming, and then
Okay.
freelancing, then an accidental email, and so that's what got me on the path to eventually making eJunkie, and then eJunkie led to financial independence and a realization that I was wrong all along. Money doesn't give you happiness; it gives you safety.
Okay. So
That's it.
you're saying that money gives you safety, but it may not always give you happiness. And
I don't think there is a single instance where somebody is happy because they're rich. I mean, look at all the
yeah,
see rich people. They take two paths. On one hand, you have like all the celebrities. So you have like sex, drugs, Scientology,
yeah,
suicide, or you have the rich people who take the path of service, starting with Buddha, Mahatma Gandhi, Jawaharlal Nehru. I mean, these are people who had money, but they knew that going the sex, drugs, and rock and roll route is not going to give them happiness. They were smarter than that.
yeah, true. So tell me one thing, since you left everything behind that defined your success and you came afresh,
Sorry,
s- you came afresh, starting on a new slate in India. So
can you repeat that? You were cut off.
So, what I meant was when you left your tech job in 2011, you left behind all the success and whatever defined you then. And you were coming back to India on a fresh slate, st- trying to start on to find your life's purpose. Normally, people are alone when they start a journey like that. So, what would you feel then, and how did you progress?
Well, it was very uncomfortable. I mean, to draw a parallel, it's like when you haven't built your new house, but you have demolished your old house, and you just kind of in this very weird limbo, and everybody looks at you as if you were crazy because you don't have a house to live in. You're like sitting amidst all this rubble, and you don't know what you want to build. You can't even define it. You just know what you had wasn't for you. I mean, in a sense, it also frees you to quote Fight Club. You're only truly free when you have when you've let go of everything you had.
Yeah.
But uh, it's also very daunting because all your life you have this very set path. Like one path that you can take, and now you have this choice of infinite. You can just do anything, which is
Yeah.
what I did. So I tried various things.
Yeah.
A lot of them not something I'm very proud of, but eventually I found the right path.
I know you must have also encountered a lot of failures on your paths till you hit your life's purpose. So, what was your experience in dealing with failures, and what is that advice you want to give people, about failures in life?
I don't know. I haven't really seen things as failure. I mean, I see things as missed opportunities, but not really failure. I mean, how would you define failure? Because if your approach is, well, let's just do this, you're throwing things at the wall, seeing what sticks. It's hardly a failure. So maybe I've been fortunate enough that I haven't looked at things in those terms. I'm like, okay, let's do this. Let's see what works.
And also, what brings me to a
I,
question
I know
is,
it's not a very satisfying answer, but I really didn't have I can't say like, oh, there was a failure which made me feel horrible. There were
yeah,
things that didn't work, and that's okay,
yeah,
because a lot of things you're doing for shits and giggles anyway.
yeah. So probably don't stop if you're failing, because there'll be things that won't work, and which is okay. It's a part of the life. Also, I am very inquisitive. Why animals? I mean, you could have chosen any other field and helped people around. How did you get gravitated towards building a animal shelter? And also, you may want to tell us a little bit more about People Farm. What is it you all do there, and why is it so special?
Okay, so I would answer both of these questions. So why animals? I think the seeds of that were not. I think I know the seeds of that were sowed by my mom when we were kids. Me and my sister. My mom would send us. Sorry, am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me? Robin, I hear you.
Uh, I can't hear you. I don't know if it's your.
No, no, you're clear. I can hear you. You are audible. You may want to try checking your headset. You are audible. Hello? Hello? Hello?
Hey, yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah, yeah.
I don't know. Is this any better?
Yes,
I switched the network.
yeah, yeah. This is clear.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. Okay, so you were asking me about like why I gravitated towards animals and more about People Farm. Should I continue with answering that, or were you asking something else after that?
No, no, it's the same question.
Hmm. So the seeds of that were sowed by my mom. When me and my sister we were kids, my mom would send us to do rescues. Like, hey, that puppy's stuck in the drain, bring him out, so on and so forth. So of course, I really enjoyed that. And as a kid, I said, I always thought like I'm gonna feed animals, help animals. When I thought animals, I meant stray dogs, and helping meant कि भाई इन्हें खाना देना. I'll feed them. So that's where I like dogs at 17. That's what I wanted to do, hanging out with dogs, hanging with my friends. Of course, my life went on a tangent because I started hacking. That led to a career that went to US, starting my own company, and I kind of forgot all about that. So when I was back in India and I was trying various things that how do I find my purpose? There was one thing I wanted to do as a kid. I wanted to go to Oroville because my dad had worked in this. It's a very interesting township near Pondicherry. So I'd always wanted to go there, never had gotten a chance. So now I was back. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to Oroville. So I went to Oroville and I met Lorraine. Am I still audible?
Yes, yes, you are.
Okay, okay. So I went to Oroville. I met Lorraine. I saw this poster. It was like, this woman. She's really old. She's taking care of 40 to 60 stray dogs. She needs help. So I went to meet her. She really needed help. She was broke. She was collecting this leftover food from restaurants, sifting through it with her hands, and then feeding stray dogs. So this was August of 2012, and I was like, Lorraine, I'm gonna help you because I was looking for at this point I was looking for a purpose. I was rebel without a cause. So that's why I chose animals. Then the other thing is, although like I feel compassionate towards human animals and non-human animals, it's if you don't have prior experience helping, animals are just easier to work with. There are fewer regulations. If I try to help a dog, nobody's gonna, the dog's not gonna get better and turn around and try to sue me. It's just like less clunky. It's cleaner. It's almost cleaner. And now that we have more experience, now we are more recognized. We can graduate to helping people, which we are already looking into. I mean, right now, the easiest thing was to create employment, which we are doing. Now we are thinking of starting a more cooperative where people can own that rather than, oh, these people are generating employment, giving us employment. I want them to own something, and that's where we will start. So
But
it was just kind of the. Go
so
ahead.
I was saying it is so beautiful because what I also see is that your organization is very decentralized. As in, a lot of people in your community are empowered to do their stuff, you know. So, which is very interesting when I really studied your profile and really got to know your team a little better. Yeah.
Thank you. I mean, those people like, yeah, like I mean, they're the extended people farm family. So the idea is like the commonality between everybody who either works at People Farm, volunteers at People Farm, or is associated with People Farm online. The commonality is that all of us care. It could be about I care about feeding stray dogs. Somebody cares about Goraksha. Somebody cares about being vegan, and somebody cares about helping women. Somebody cares about children. So on and so forth. And all these people now are coming together in these various venues. Like we have a group. We talk on Telegram. I hang out mostly on Telegram, uh, and so this gives us a chance to kind of see that there is this commonality in our struggle, that we are all against one form of oppression or other. And I think it just raises our overall consciousness as a collective, because eventually this is, I'm sorry, I'm ranting a little, but uh, this is a recent realization. I don't think we are just about humans helping animals, which is our tagline. I
Yeah.
think we are about just raising the consciousness a little bit more than where it was when we started this. That's all. That's how we want to leave the world.
Yeah. So amazing. This is not just about people helping animals, but this is about larger picture where we are raising the consciousness of a group or a community at one step at a time, which is super amazing. So, Robin, we also want to know what happens in People Farm. So we know that you rescue animals, stray animals. What else goes on at People Farm?
So Clinic is just one of the projects we do. That was the first thing we started. We rescue animals. Then we also have a farm stay. So the farm stay was one of the core things of the idea, because we wanted, when we started People Farm, it was like the first thing by which we will spread awareness was involve and inspire. So people from all over the world will come, stay with us. They will experience this. So before lockdown and since we started People Farm, we have always had strangers just coming, living with us, eating with us on the same table, and we are like always having these conversations which push thoughts in. So that's farm stay is one of the projects. Then we started products because we were like, okay, with farm stay we are reaching like 100 people a year. We want to do more. So we thought, okay, people care about healthy food. People
Yeah.
want peanut butter. People want granola. People want kombucha. So let's start making that. So instead of standing on the street and giving out pamphlets that nobody cares about, we put our message on products. We put pictures of adoptable dogs in products, and we put them in the stores. And when people who were interested in peanut butter, they were like, huh, these people care about animals. Let's go meet them.
Wow.
Let's go find out about them. So that was a way for us to spread awareness. It also became a way of us providing employment to local women,
Right.
and then the project not only funded itself but also funded rescue. So that's
Amazing.
the third project. One of the things which we do is organic farming. So we do organic nodal farming. It's more of an experiment. I'd say primary product is knowledge, because we want to try to grow food non-violently and sustainably. And I don't think the farmers around us who are subsistence farmers, I don't think they can afford to experiment. So it's our responsibility. People who don't rely on, like, because if I have a crop failure, I can eat.
Right.
So it's my responsibility to experiment and see if there is a better way of doing things. And we came up with, like, our pea seeds were better, and farmers take the pea seeds from
Yeah.
us. So that's the fourth project. And the last but not the least is our media, because we tell the stories of what's happening here, and that's how we reach a much wider audience. Because of course, we are helping one animal, we are helping one person. There's an inherent benefit to that particular person or animal. But when millions of people online find out about that, it gives them sometimes it gives them a spark. Sometimes it gives them it shows them a path. You know what, like, I wanted to do something. This is what something I can do. So these are the five things which happen at People Farm. And uh, and then, there's a lot more experiments that are always brewing. Like, for example, like, this is an unofficial project. We've started these WhatsApp groups all over the country. So there are
Yeah.
200 WhatsApp groups. You put your pin code, you find a WhatsApp group near you, you connect. What happens there? You are on your own. It could be rowdy. Maybe you'll find great people. So it's an experiment.
No, but that's amazing. And I have to share this incident which happened yesterday. So I'm a part of Robin's community as well. And I got into a WhatsApp group. And based on my pin code, I was directed in a group which is next to my area, which is in Mumbai. And there was a dog which was basically hurt on the road. And I can't tell you with the adeptness people work, and the rescue team came on and somebody arranged for a doctor, and in 1 hour's time, and it was 12 a.m. in the morning, early in the morning, the dog was actually rescued and taken to a doctor. So it was so fast. The community reach is so great. I so loved that method of organizing and empowering your own people to do their own stuff and be owners of those. So that's
That's
amazing.
awesome.
That's awesome. So we have few questions from people. Uttam Call says that he wants to know how do you deal with conflicts, especially with street dogs. That is, when people don't want street dogs around their area. So do you all? How do you all manage that? Do you all rescue them, or do you
Uh,
all get street dogs to your farm, or?
no, we are not a shelter. We are a clinic. So, I think a, a big part of this work is, of any work, is to maintain focus. So our focus is, we are going to help injured stray animals. One, we're going to tell their stories. Now, if somebody decides to do something like that in their area, I mean, we're not going to drop everything we do and suddenly pick a new battle. It's not efficient. Uh, so, luckily, we haven't had to deal with that here. That people, it's not like people have wanted to move stray dogs. Some of it's also about, like, maintaining where you feel, not you feel like you project an image where community feels that you care about them and not just the dogs. For example, we would sterilize and vaccinate dogs, and then by word of mouth we'd say, like, bhai ab inke bacche nahi honge, aapko chinta karne ki zarurat nahi hai. They are also vaccinated against rabies, so you don't have to worry. But sometimes if people are just nuts about dogs, there's nothing you can do
Yeah,
about it.
true.
There's really nothing. There is no solution. At that point, it's already too late.
Yeah, true. There is another interesting question which says, what are your views on the concept of minimalism? So, a lot of people are trying to move towards minimalism. What is your view on that? And if somebody wants to do that, what's your suggestion?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, my whole life's philosophy is like, consume only to live and live only to serve. Again, there's a disclaimer. It's not like I'm living by this philosophy. It's going to take me a lifetime to be 100% aligned with it. So I'm trying. Uh, but yeah, of course, minimalism is a big part of it. Just let go of what you don't need.
Yeah.
It's a must if you want to reduce your suffering footprint. Like, I gave up cigarettes, I gave up alcohol, I don't own things that I don't need, and whatever I own is pretty shared.
Yeah. So share more and own less. So that's your key point on it. The other
And
question,
whatever,
yes.
go ahead.
No, no, please complete. I was just going on to the other question. Tell us.
The only thing is, it's like, there could be a thing like, like I could own three vehicles, but depends on why I own them. So the intent is very important. Otherwise, you're going to paralyze yourself. If I have to do cow rescue, and if I have to do dog rescue, and if I need to run a mobile clinic, I need three vehicles. So
Yeah.
minimalism or not, I need three vehicles. So it's not about paralyzing yourself. It's about why you have what you have.
Yeah. So probably minimalism is also about finding out the necessary things that you should have versus what you would want. So which is
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah. So we have Lakshmikant asking how difficult it was for you to take that first new step on your journey. When you know that you want to start your second innings and go on, just go for it. Was it difficult? And how did you tackle that?
Uh, Not really. I mean, difficult. See, okay, there's a lot of aspects of difficulty. One is difficulty of not knowing what's the next step. So yeah, that's difficult. But change comes easy to me. I don't mind changing, because if I read something new, I like it, I want to do it next day. So in that sense, it wasn't difficult. Then there is the difficulty of people who are around you. They're close you. Sorry,
Yeah.
they're close to you, and getting them to understand. The thing is, I handled it the worst possible way. I wasn't emotionally intelligent. I was like zero. I thought like a machine. I was like, if this makes sense, I am doing this. Not trying to package it, not trying to cushion it, not trying to understand that, hey, everybody has a different pace of changing. So
Yeah.
that's difficult. Personal relationships. But, so in that sense, but for myself, I think one of the most difficult things was to quit cigarettes. Those kind of things
Ah,
are more difficult than changing.
yeah. I can imagine being a doctor. I know how difficult that must be for you. So, in fact, the next question is somewhat related, where Rajashri says, "How did you convince your parents?" Of course, I don't know how it is at US scenario, but in the Indian household, you have to take your parents along in your decision, otherwise it gets super difficult. So, how did you
See,
convince
that's the thing.
people?
You
Yeah.
don't have to. It's something you think that you have to. We kind of indoctrinated in this culture of guilt, especially in India. I think guilt is the glue that holds families together. Nobody tends to live their life. Like, your parents won't live their life. They're going to live their parents' life. Then you're not going to live your life. You're going to live your parents' life. And then you're going to force your kids. And it's like a cycle of misery. So so I had a few things working out in my favor. One was that I mean, I was in US, right? So for my father, that was it, because he always was like, कि यार ये छोले बेचेगा बड़े होके. So once I reached US, he was like, okay, हो गया यार, ठीक है. He proved himself because he was a scientist. He was a scientist. I was selling CDs in the college, so he felt a little like, come on, ये क्या है? तो एक तो वो क्लेम टू फेम हो गया. फिर ई जंकी के बारे में इट गॉट रिटन अप अबाउट इन लाइक आई वाज इन एंटरप्रेन्योर मैगजीन, CNN, फोर्ब्स, इस सब में आ गया. तो थोड़ा वहां से वो हो गया भाई. He was convinced. Then when I totally made a decision, unfortunately he wasn't there. Like, he passed away.
Oh.
So I'm not saying it worked out in my favor, but then it was one less person जिसके बारे में मुझे सोचना होगा.
Hmm.
My mom, she comes from a family of freedom fighters, so she knows sacrifice. So she kind of like, always supported it too, although emotionally she wasn't completely on the same page. I mean, one, my mom hates me. She doesn't really. She's like, भैया तो अपनी मासी पे गया है, ये ऐसा बंदा है वैसा है. So she hates me, but she still wants me there to, meet her emotional needs, and I'm pretty clear about that. That like, hey, I can absolutely take responsibility. Like, I'm your child. I'm gonna take responsibility. I'm not gonna let you be not supported. All your needs would be met. But I know this for a fact. You cannot make somebody happy. They believe that if you do what they want you to do, आप उनके पास बैठे रहो, आप उनके हिसाब से शादी कर लो, 4-6 बच्चे पैदा कर दो, बच्चों की शादियां करा दो, so they'll be happy. I know it's not possible. So for me, it was like, yaar, nah, I mean, Vasudhaiv Kutumbakam. The whole world is my family. I can't just put one person's desire on a pedestal और मुझे पता है भाई वो गाय मर रही है, वो कुत्ता मर रहा है तो वो मरे. So
Yeah.
it's not an easy decision to make. You feel immense guilt. So you have to be very heady and you have to know what's right, and what you might be feeling is just a feeling. You have to override it.
Right. So sometimes in life, what you're feeling would be just a feeling. Okay. And when you're
Sometimes
probably working for a higher purpose in your life, you're actually looking at people beyond just your close knit circle. So I like the whole point of the world being your family rather than just the small circle of people around you being your family. You know. So
I like to add something to it actually. If you sorry, go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off.
no,
Sorry.
no, no. Please go ahead.
I don't think it's about sometimes. Feelings are almost always in the way. I'm not saying you don't consider feelings or don't listen to feelings,
Yeah.
but like the way, you're not going to file your taxes based on यार मेरे हिसाब से मैंने करोड़ रुपए कमाए हैं, लगभग लगभग इतना टैक्स है. You calculate it.
Right.
But
Right.
almost always when you go for feelings, like आपको कोई लड़का लड़की दिखा अचानक, oh यार man, this is the one. आप पहले 6 महीने में शादी कर लेते हो, you regret it.
Right.
So feelings almost always land you in trouble. So I'm saying, yeah, sure, trust your feelings, but validate them. And a lot of times you would find that feelings are just a very primal way of operating. To
Right.
realize the human potential, you have to think through stuff. Even like, okay, even in case of our animal welfare work, there's a dog that comes, uska, like a truck has ran over it.
Right.
उसका जबड़ा टूटा हुआ है, his intestines are all over. You can't save the dog.
Right.
You would want to euthanize the dog. Now, feeling wise, does it feel good to kill a dog? You are taking a life. It doesn't feel good,
Right.
but I know doesn't matter what it makes me feel. It is good for that dog to not be in that much pain anymore.
Right.
So yeah, that's it. I think feelings almost always are in the way of making right decisions.
Yeah. So, yeah, this is an interesting point. So, sometimes we actually have to go beyond our feelings if you're trying to achieve your full potential or go beyond your potential. So, Rajeshi, like Robin just said, you don't have to convince anyone, when you're going on the paths that you just know will be for you, then everything falls in place. Like he said, it may not be easy, but you still have to keep at it. We have another interesting question which says, what are the 5 goals every person must achieve before turning 20 and before turning 23? So, Robin, a lot of people see you as an inspiration in terms of achievements in your life, So, what are your recommendations on this?
5 goals that you're supposed to achieve before 20.
Or 23?
I don't know, man. I would say, before you turn that age, get it out of your system. One goal, whatever you want to do, get it out of your system. So afterwards, you're like, been there, done that, not worth it, and you can move on with your life because your hormones are raging at that age.
Yeah.
I don't know if me giving any goals would even have a point.
Right.
It's like,
Set your own goals and finish them. So, Robin, can we say you found your ikigai in life, your purpose for living, or is there something else?
yeah, no, absolutely. I found my purpose. And I think that purpose is service. Of course, the way it's going to manifest at different stages of my life differently because as I grow, my capability would change. I would know more, and I think where you apply yourself depends on what moves you the most. So for me, it's other people's pain moves me most. Human
Right.
animals, non-human animals. Like I feel very strongly about, let's say, like women who are forced into sex trade. I feel very, very strongly about that. However, I don't know what to do about it. I
Yeah.
feel strongly about animals. I know something what I can do. So then, there's an intersection there. Okay, I care about animals' pain. I know what I can do about it, and my circumstances let me do something about it. When these three things intersect, then you know in very tangible terms what you can do. So that guiding principle is always there. So as I age, once I'm like like say 10 years from now, maybe I would know what I can do to help women,
Right.
and it would like so my purpose will still stay service and helping others who can't help themselves, help alleviate their pain, but it might look different than what I'm doing right now.
Right. So probably have a central purpose and then kind of move ahead and see what changes you can make ahead. We have another interesting question which says that, do you have tips for someone who is not clear about one specific path? So that's the topic of our discussion too. Do you have steps for people to actually find out their purpose in life?
Yeah, I would say like I haven't really thought about it and listed the steps. So if you give me 30 seconds to formulate my thought, is that okay?
Yeah, and that should work for us. That should work for us. And thank you, people, those who have put in their comments saying very impressive work, especially with the whole community zip code idea. And I would
Sure.
love to help you helping women. So there are a lot of people who want to volunteer with you when you start helping women also.
I need somebody who can spearhead it, because I don't even know where to begin. Because helping is, I know this is how it's done. I do it. I carve out a role. Somebody comes, takes over that role. I mean, that's different and that's super too. Right now, I just know I need somebody who can spearhead it and I can like support them in every possible way. So we give
Right,
them a platform, give them whatever they need. They need a salary, we will fundraise for them.
right,
They need a platform, we'll make ours available to them. They come, they
right.
join forces. So anyway, anybody like that
Yeah,
can email me at robin at
yeah,
peoplefarm.org. You just have to be patient for the response. It's just like I'm getting tremendous amount of email, and so just be patient, but do email me, do reach out. I love connecting with people. Anyway, back to the question of the steps. I
yeah.
would say ask yourself a very simple question, which might be seemingly dark, but it ain't. Is why why shouldn't you kill yourself? Like
Wow.
what's the reason you shouldn't kill yourself? This is not to encourage you to actually kill yourself. It's just to kind of snap you out of that autopilot.
Yeah, yeah.
Then
Amazing.
whatever answer you get, keep questioning, ask why, and keep questioning why. Eventually, you'll get to something which is just a hard wired programming. We are like, we think we are different than animals. We are not. We are just better animals. We are animals with neocortex and opposable thumbs. But once you reach a point where you think, I just like doing it, I just like, for example, people who want to have kids in this populated world. I'm not judging against it. If they
Yeah,
think about why they want to have kids, they are going to come against their natural programming.
Yeah.
And that's the breakthrough point. Either they can just say ऐसा ही होता है and back off, or they can push through that barrier, and then they have stepped in the realm of thinking and being able to override their primal programming and actually realize human potential. And at that point, start writing. Write whatever your thoughts are. They are not going to make sense. They are not going to be coherent, but write. And then eventually you will start gaining some clarity. I can
Hmm.
tell my thought process as an example if you have
Mm-hmm.
time, or uh,
No, no, please go ahead. Yeah, we have time.
so see, I came across like, I was like, okay, look, you also have a central belief too, so if you are more like, if there's a scale, Buddha being 1 and Donald Trump being, no, Buddha being 10 and Donald Trump being 1, depends on which side of the scale you are. So if you are more like, okay, I want to be more on Buddha side, I want to be a good person, this is the advice that's going to work for them. If you want to be like Donald Trump, I've got nothing to say to you. So if you want to be like Buddha, so my thought was like, I want to be a good guy. I think I'm a good guy. I want to be like on the path to Buddha. But let's examine my lifestyle. I'm consuming so much. I consume everything I consume has a suffering footprint. It causes pain. These are all facts, indisputable facts. The food I get, all the transportation involved in it, the animals that are killed, the mining that happens, pollution, da da da. So I cause pain. Pain is bad. I want to be a good person. Now this is not lining up, right? So now either you can rationalize it by saying some bogus excuse. हाँ हाँ पर ऐसा ही होता है, ऐसे थोड़ा सोचना होता है, ये कैसी बात है? Or you can say, you know what, this is not lining up. I got to change something. So my thing was, for me to live, I have to cause pain. Pain is bad. I think I'm a good person. I should kill myself. That was my thought process.
Yeah.
Like,
Wow.
why wait, यार, है ना? बस अब तुमने जो करना था कर लिया. अब तो तुम pain ही cause कर रहे हो. Why
Hmm.
wait?
Hmm.
So wasn't out of depression or nothing, just thought. So then I was like, okay, let me invert this. Let me invert this scenario and think like, अगर मैं अपने आप को मार लेता हूँ, then what is the world gonna look like? Let's hypothetically मैंने अपने आप को मार लिया. The world would continue as it is. और फैक्ट्रीज भी ज्यों की त्यों चलेगी, जो लोग जानवरों को टॉर्चर कर रहे हैं वो भी करेंगे, रेपिस्ट भी एज इट इज खुले घूम रहे हैं, ये सब कुछ तो एज इट इज है. तो आई एम लाइक नहीं यार, तो दिस डजंट मेक सेंस. सो आई, even if I am causing pain to live, I can do something to overall alleviate pain. So that was my thought process. This is an example. I'm not saying
Yeah.
this is exactly what your thought process is gonna be.
Yes.
Just start with some facts which
Mm-hmm.
you cannot contradict. जैसे मेरे लिए मैंने आपको बताया facts are pain is bad,
Yeah.
consumption causes
Yeah.
pain,
Yeah.
and a central belief कि आप अच्छे हैं या आप Trump type हैं.
Right. So I get very concrete steps from here. So probably, first is to ask and see, what is it that you would want to live for, or you don't want to kill yourself because of this reason. And the second thing is then ask the whys, and then keep exploring and writing down whatever you think is creating joy for you, or maybe like Robin shared his thought process, but each one of us can have our own thought processes. So amazing, Robin. Thank you for that. I've never listened to somebody actually come to a conclusion from chaos to coming to the purpose of life or joy, which is amazing. And
I think I lucked out. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, good one. So there's another one who says, for someone who feels scattered in their creative ways, what are the best advice to flourish and soar in life? Wow, I love the question. If you can answer that. So
I don't think I understand the question fully. Sorry. I don't want to like, address
yeah,
something that I don't fully understand. Sorry.
right. So the other question is, I want to open my own foundation to help people. Is it difficult? Is it easy? How can I start?
Well, if you mean legally, it's not that difficult. You'll have to find a CA, and the CA can register the trust for you. You will have to apply for ATG, and 12A. And once you get those, you are officially a not-for-profit trust where people can donate and get their tax exemption and everything. Now, now when it comes to the on-ground work, that depends on what you pick. I would say start volunteering or working for an organization that is kind of doing what you are, so you can learn the ropes.
Right. Right. So maybe start working or volunteering for your aim or thought process or cause, and then you learn on the go. There's another interesting question on a smoking, Robin. So somebody is asking, how did you give up addiction, and how can they do that? Give up addictions.
Oh man, I'm ashamed to talk about this, but okay, I will. Okay. Uh, so for, like I love smoking. I love the feeling of like the smoke going in and the whole feel of it. You put some music on. There's like a nice background. So what I did was I started hand rolling my cigarettes, which gives you that. So there's a bit of a struggle. Then I educated myself about cigarettes. Sure, they're harming me. So once you start valuing your life, that you understand your life is not just your own. भाई आप खाना खा रहे हो, खाना खाने के लिए मर कोई और रहा है, जिंदा आप रह रहे हो, तो वो life is not just yours. You are just its custodian. So there was that realization. कि, man, I can't just smoke away my life. Second was that the cigarette butt is non-biodegradable. So didn't align with my whole minimalism and sustainable guy thing. So I tried to keep mounting pressure on myself. Third was cigarettes are tested on animals, like many other things, like cosmetics and all the
Yeah.
medicines. They test cigarettes on beagles. They would cut their throats. They would do horrible things to mice and dogs for cigarettes. So I was like, this is no good. So I tried to go sustainable about it. So I started hand rolling, which offered a bit of a friction. So it reduced the amount of cigarettes I would smoke, because हर बारी cigarette पीना आपने थोड़ा मुश्किल कर दिया वो काम. Then I started moving away from tobacco because nicotine is neurologically addictive. And I started smoking a mix of herbs. जैसे कि you can smoke peppermint. So I would even buy these organic teas and smoke teas and see कि कौन सी tea जो है उसका धुआं अच्छा लगता है. Then I found these herbs you can dry, like mugwort,
Yeah.
that you can dry and you can smoke mugwort. It grows like a weed.
Yeah.
And so then moved away from tobacco, and then gradually then moved off of these herbs too. And
Yeah.
then also knowing कि भाई ऐसा तो है नहीं कि कोई religious कारण है, कभी मन हुआ तो आप on and off महीने में एक बार दो बार सिगरेट पी सकते हैं. तो just having that option just
Yeah.
kind of keeps your mind off it and you don't exercise it.
Yeah. So
And
those
if
are
you
the
want to smoke, there are a lot more interesting things to smoke than cigarettes.
guys who don't know, write in. So
I
yeah.
don't. I don't smoke. I am like I'm pretty addiction free. The only addiction I have is caffeine, which I'm trying to quit because I
Yeah.
like to keep my mind really clear.
Yes. So, okay, so this is interesting. Somebody is saying, you know, even though they want to care for other people, and because financially they are not so well off, it feels like a
Mhm.
strain. So, how do they balance that?
Yeah. So there are two ways you can go about it. One is you reduce your expenses drastically. जितना reduce आप कर सकते हैं, ठीक है? Then you save as much as you can, and then आपके पास इतना पैसा आ जाए कि आप 1 or 2 years without working you can sustain yourself. Then you can be on your own, and you are like you have 24 months to build something of your own. You can build an income stream where you have to work, but at least you'll have flexibility. And then that way you can gradually carve out time to do things which you want to do. So that's one way. The Also, even in this one way, you don't have to build an income stream. Let's say you save आपने अपना expense you do reduce to 20,000 rupees a month, and आपके पास 2.5 lakh रुपए जमा हो गए. it's mostly Hindi speakers who are listening to this. I can switch between Hindi and
Yes,
English.
yes,
Is that okay?
please.
Okay,
Yes,
okay.
yes.
तो
That
आपके
is
2.5 लाख
that.
रुपए जमा हो गए. So you then quit your job and now you have 1 year to do whatever you want to do. Let's say you want to start helping animals. So you can start helping animals. You can build a foundation, chota sa, which can even pay you a salary. Like I don't take a salary because I don't need to, but you can take a salary. Be transparent about it with people. Like, hey, just like my vet, just like my paravet, I also need employment. So that can be covered from your donation. That is one way.
Yeah.
The other way is, like, one of my friends did this. So now he is a total hedonistic guy. He did this because he wanted to have fun, but it's the same concept. You leave the city life, you come to a tourist area or something, you rent a house. Okay, you rent a house, you turn it into a homestay. You find an old mud house, you turn it into a homestay. There are people coming to stay with you. You are just cooking for them and you are giving them an experience. तो आपका खुद का खाने का खर्चा निकल गया, आपका रेंट निकल गया, आपका बिजली का बिल निकल गया, and you will have ample of time. Now what he did in ample of time was to smoke pot and drink, but you can use that time to do the good you want to do. So you'll have to get a little creative. जैसे अगर आप हमारे यहाँ आते हैं तो we can teach you a lot of things you can do to make money. जैसे हम kombucha बेचते हैं. Kombucha was my personal hobby. I
What is a
used to brew
kombucha?
kombucha.
What is a
Kombucha is a
kombucha?
fermented tea. Kombucha
Okay.
is a fermented tea. It's a probiotic thing. It got
Okay.
hugely popular in US. It became like a multi-billion-dollar industry. So I used to drink kombucha. तो भाई मैं नहीं देना चाहता था like $4.5 कौन दे एक बॉटल के. I mean, I, cheap. I was cheap. तो मैंने अपनी ब्रू करनी शुरू कर दी. तो now when we came to India, I kept brewing my own. Now we sell it. अब मैंने यहाँ पे बिंद्रेश है. He handles our farm. वो kombucha भी brew करता है. We sell like 30 bottles on Amazon every day. I mean, all of that money goes to help animals, and we sell the cheapest kombucha on Amazon. तो आप
Amazing.
kombucha बना सकते हो. I tell people कि यार आप बनाओ ना. You can grow herbs. आप you can grow rosemary, oregano. These are easy herbs to grow. It's very hard to kill them. You dry them. These sell for 2,000 rupees a kilo.
Yeah. Yeah.
So start building an income stream.
Yeah.
Get creative. नहीं
So
समझ में आ रहा यहाँ आ जाओ.
we
We'll teach you.
write to Robin Singh. He will call you at the space. But amazing, huh? Even I agree with Robin. Money is never a constraint because you can get creative to build multiple income streams, and there's no stop to that. And that cannot stop you from doing what you want to do. So we have one more question which says, can you please tell me how to be most productive?
Yeah. So, I mean, better than me, there is this quote from this poet Jalaluddin Rumi. उन्होंने कहा था इंग्लिश में ही इंग्लिश ट्रांसलेशन इज द आर्ट ऑफ नोइंग इज नोइंग व्हाट टू इग्नोर.
Oh, superb.
So but to implement it, it's a very simple line. To implement it, you need a litmus test. So you need this purity of purpose where you can be like कि यार मेरा purpose क्या है, and then run everything against that purpose. जैसे मेरा purpose है पेन कम करना, ठीक है. तो अब मुझे कोई कहता है कि come to this party. So I evaluate it. If I go to that party, what am I getting out of it? Am I just wasting 2 hours, or I'm gonna meet people where I can make connections that is gonna help my work? So be very, very utilitarian. So either spend time on just resting. So R&R, you need rest. So if you're spending time, whether you're watching TV, whether you are chatting with your friends or binging on YouTube, if it's for rest and it's gonna rejuvenate you, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. If it's gonna rejuvenate you, then it's okay. Other than that, if it's taking you away from your purpose, don't do it. Be very cold about it, be very firm about it. Your time is the biggest resource you have. It's very limited. You don't even know how limited, and you cannot buy it.
Yeah. So focus on your purpose and run a litmus test for everything that you do. Okay, time is super limited. Yes. So we have Dr. Yatin asking, 3 4 straight dogs. Stray dogs are a nuisance in our gated society, and few animal lovers are preventing the municipal officers from taking them to a shelter home. I believe they have already bitten people and chased them. Can you suggest a mutually acceptable permanent solution? Well, that sounds like a
Yeah,
tough.
so basically,
Hmm.
there is one is the misconception. So the municipal corporation doesn't take them to a shelter to house them. Municipal corporation, just 1 second, talking about stray dogs. Our own dogs are being a nuisance. Case in point.
He's just talking, I think.
Anyway, so municipal corporation takes them to sterilize them,
Okay.
right? So you can make sure when the dogs are sterilized and they're going to be returned to the area, because it's illegal to move dogs. It's a violation of Prevention of Cruelty to Animals Act, and it can get you imprisoned for 3 months. So
Wow.
moving dogs is a bad idea. It's illegal, but you should be getting them sterilized. That's the responsible thing to do. Once they are sterilized, अब आपकी कॉलोनी में 10 12 कुत्ते हैं तो वो धीरे धीरे अपनी लाइफ जी के खत्म हो जाएंगे इवेंचुअली, एंड दे आर एन एसेट, बिकॉज कोई चोर वगैरह आते हैं तो वो भौंकते हैं.
Yeah.
ऑल्सो यू कैन डेजिग्नेट फीडिंग एरियाज कि भाई यहाँ पे फीड आप थोड़ा यहाँ पे कर लो, rather than feeding anywhere, because sometimes dog lovers don't pay attention. Now, as far as aggressive dogs go, some dogs, what happens is, some dogs are aggressive because people have been abusive towards them.
Hmm.
So I would say कि अगर थोड़ा you step out of your comfort zone, try to give them biscuits or something, they will warm up to you. Also, जो dog feeders हैं, you can tell them to start feeding dogs Angzocare. हिमालय की Angzocare आती है.
Hmm.
You feed them once in the morning, once in the evening, and after a month you'll start seeing results. The dogs will be much more mellow.
Hmm.
Now I understand there is this big hole in our law. अगर कोई डॉग रैबिट है तो उसको तो आप यूथनाइज कर सकते हैं, बट इफ देयर इज अ डॉग विच इज एग्रेसिव,
Hmm.
आई फील, not I feel, I think, I know that that dog should be put to sleep, but animal lovers get very upset, and उस एक डॉग की वजह से सारे डॉग्स का नाम खराब होता है.
Hmm.
So if there is a particularly aggressive dog that cannot be fixed with Angzocare, I will say talk to the MC and put down that dog, because that anything that's a threat to public at large shouldn't, it doesn't make sense. It
Yeah.
doesn't, it's not good for the dog as well, because किसी ने पकड़ के उसको बेचारे को फिर पीट पीट के मार देना है.
Yeah, true. So, Dr. Yatin is also asking if you have a 24 hours helpline for injured or abandoned animals.
No, we need to live.
No, but
It's like,
Dr. Yatin, I can tell you
work
from
is-
my experience, his community is super connected. And if you join the WhatsApp group based on your area, the people on the community really go out of the way, to take care of abandoned animals. So you can try that definitely, And
yeah,
yes,
go
Dr.
ahead. Sorry. No, go ahead.
No, I was just going to the other question. What do you have to say about horses, elephants, and many such animals on our streets, circuses who are getting a very raw deal? How can the recent unfortunate Kerala elephant death and similar incidents be prevented?
So, I mean, okay, these are two very different issues. The horses and the bulls you see on the streets, it's a hole in our law that that abuse is allowed, unless people turn compassionate, which is a very tall order, to somebody to get turn compassionate overnight, and people who are anyway struggling for their survival, उनसे आप expect करें कि they'll be kinder to animals. It's very while overriding their own commercial interests, it's very hard. So that has to be just tackled by law. Some things have to be just top down. So अगर law कह देता है भाई कि घोड़ों को आप सड़क पे ये नहीं कर सकते, शादियों वादियों में नहीं कर सकते.
Hmm.
Second is, people can boycott like now थोड़ा मॉडर्न है भाई, गाड़ी पे शादी कर लो, अब घोड़े की क्या आवश्यकता है, you have cars, so people can boycott some of this nonsense.
Yeah.
Now when it comes to the Kerala incident, I don't think they were trying to kill the elephant. So what happens is कि there are wild boars जो खेती को उजाड़ देते हैं, ठीक है. अब that has happened because we have encroached forest. Farms come from clearing forests. अब वो wild boar कहीं तो जाएंगे ना. But अब farmer का क्या है, farmer को भी तो खाना खाना है ना. Imagine you have a field, you are relying on that grain to not only eat but also that is the only way you make a living, and the wild boar आके रात को वो खराब कर देते हैं. So you are gonna get pissed. You are gonna wanna kill them any which way you want. Now, I'm not getting into the right or wrong of it. I'm just saying this is the ground reality. तो ये लोग क्या करते हैं? They put a very cruel trap. कि एक आटे का पेड़ा लिया, उसमें पोटैश डाल के रख दिया कि the wild boar will bite it and die. Thing is, it's not just the wild boars which bite into it. There are elephants and cows which bite and then they die. So the only way is maybe the government can do something, some sort of a mandatory fencing of the farms. भाई पैसे दे दें. इतना हमारी कृषि प्रधान हमारा देश है, हमारी जो सरकार है that is very pro farmer. तो भाई फेंसिंग लगा दो ताकि नहीं आए वाइल्ड पिग्स अपनी जगह रहें, हाथी भी अपनी जगह रहें और लोग अपना खेती करें. फेंसिंग इज अ सॉल्यूशन. उसके लिए पैसा चाहिए तो सरकार खर्चे पैसा.
So, Robin, this also brings me to one question, which is probably very pertinent in the situation right now. We are talking about life's purpose and, what really we want to live for. So, what is your message to young people who are watching us? And also considering we are in this whole crazy rise of mental health issues, how does one find a fulfilling life? We know you found yours. So what's your advice to these young chaps, to actually find a fulfilling life rather than get into something like a suicide or other drastic steps there?
Yeah, suicide is just such a waste, because if you can even help one person, one animal, one person. I mean, I know, like when you are probably in that state of mind, it's very hard. I tried committing suicide when I was, I was 16. I tried to commit suicide. I luckily failed. I was in coma for some time, but I made out okay. So I know when you are in that state of mind, it's very hard to see clearly. But if you can be even useful to reduce one person's pain, your life is worth living. Just deal with that pain, just embrace that pain. That kind of pain helps you grow. Like the emotional pain you can embrace. And it's so hard to say this because I know some people might be saying, "Bhai, कहना आसान है." But just try to keep in perspective, count your blessings, count your privileges. If you are able-bodied, it's a privilege. If you are in a free country like India, आप सीरिया में नहीं पैदा हुए, आप अफगानिस्तान में नहीं पैदा हुए, that's a privilege. You're not born in poverty, that's a privilege. You're not a girl in India, that's a privilege. लड़कियों के लिए तो कितना मुश्किल है. मैं तो लड़का हूँ, मैं कहूँगा यार रात को निकल जाता हूँ, हाँ भाई उस डॉग को लाना है, सोचूंगा भी नहीं twice. Being a guy, that's a privilege. Count your blessings. And you are not in prison. आपने कुछ ऐसा stupid नहीं किया which has landed you in prison. You have your freedom. That, if you count your blessings, that help you. And look, I'm talking like the garden variety, sadness, feeling depressed. अगर कोई clinically depressed है, I can't speak to it. I have no experience with that, so it would be very unfair for me to talk about that. I'm just talking. We are in this deep state of sadness sometimes. भाई social media पे किसी ने कुछ कह दिया, नंबर अच्छे नहीं आए, ये सब, you feel you are depressed. This too shall pass. Just remember, this too shall pass. You had good moments before, है ना? Remember your last heartbreak. Remember how it felt. लग रहा था कि oh man, दुनिया खत्म हो गई, then you find another person.
Yeah, yeah, very relevant. So, very relevant lessons learned, Robin, from your life. And I know I have few people on the chat also telling me that can you ask Robin to show us rescued animals if around, if we can see it around him. Probably for that they'll have to come down to your farm to see the
No,
animals.
we do a live often. Her Saturday, so usually we do a live at 11 a.m. on our page, because
Okay.
right now, like I'm in the house and the farm is not, animal area is that way and it's dark and with a
Yeah.
signal I can't.
Yeah. So
Uh,
guys, you can follow his page. There are interesting things on it, and he has big bandwidth of Instagram followers as well. So I follow his Instagram, and there are very superb initiatives that they talk about. Robin, thank you so much for coming down. I know I just out of the blue reached out to you, and you was very sweet enough to agree to come and talk to me. It has been a wonderful journey knowing you, researching you, then talking to you, and finally having this chat with you. And if my learning from this talk would be to find my life's purpose, A, if I am in a situation where I'm feeling depressed or sad, I'm going to write down my privileges or write down my gratitudes, and B, then move to asking the question, why should I be alive? What is the reason for me being alive? And three is to actually come down on a pen and paper and rant out whatever comes in my mind when I'm exploring all the whys within me. So I think this is a beautiful method of actually finding out what you want your life to look like when you're 10 years down the line. Thank you so much, Robin. Any last words for our audience who are watching right now? Thank you, all of you, for coming down, and for people who will watch this repost maybe after a week or later. Any last words for them?
Look, I will just say be more mindful. We are all like, we are all heroes in our story of life. हमें लगता है कि हम ही हैं, and I think it takes effort to be mindful of the fact कि दूसरे का पेन भी उतना ही मैटर करता है. So just try to be cognizant of that when you act. Sometimes we just let us ourselves off the hook easily. I know it's some mental health guy and everybody's saying be gentle to yourself. मेरा थोड़ा different viewpoint. I think sometimes we let ourselves off the hook. We say मेरी personal choice है. अगर आपको लगता है कि your choice has an impact on others, it's not a personal choice, and just be cognizant of your choices.
Yeah. Yeah, very well said. So thank you so much, Robin. Really grateful for you to come here, and hope to see your farm someday, probably once the lockdown is over. We will see you there. And people are thanking you on the comments as well for the wonderful chat.
Hey, thank you all for watching, and thank you, for having me. I'm so glad you reached out. I definitely got the better end of this deal, and you asked all the right questions. It was really good.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, guys, we will take your leave now. Hopefully, to see you next Saturday again at 8 p.m. with another real life hero. If you all have suggestions, put down on the comment. Thank you so much, Robin. See you.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.